Good morning, good afternoon, this broadcast. I am your international award winning author and literary extraordinaire, Tennille M. Jackson, and I would like to welcome you guys to another episode of your entrepreneurial tip of the week. And this week's tip is all about building your brand the right way. Okay, so that's what I want to talk to you all about. And again, as you guys are coming on, please feel free to ask your questions as I will answer them as they are brought on. And please make sure that you keep them in the context of this discussion. And as you know, every Monday I come live with a different entrepreneurial tip of the week live here on YouTube. And you guys can always feel free to put your comments in the comment section and know that I will respond to it. And also look below and click that bell to subscribe to the Office Promoting Success of the APS International channel. And so what we do is every week we bring you a different tip that's going to help you in your entrepreneurial journey. So before we have brought you episodes like Trust Your Gut, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Last time we talked about being able to market your plan. So making sure that you remain relevant, making yourself relevant. This week, I want to talk about building your brand the right way. And how you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in. And what I want to do is I want to talk about the importance of building your brand the right way. There are a lot of different entrepreneurs out here. There are a lot of different businesses. And so again, whenever I bring you these tips, it really has no, it doesn't matter what type of business that you are starting, whether you are an author, so you're beginning your entrepreneurial journey, whether you have your own fast food business, whether you have makeup, whether you have an insurance business, whether you sell tea, whether you sell, it really does not matter what it is. All of these tips are universally applicable. And so you can feel free to apply them to whatever your particular situation is. And again, you may say, well, what is it that gives you the right, or what makes you credible to give us any type of advice? Understand that number one, I do have not just a bachelor's degree, but also a master's degree in business administration. So I have educational experience as well as the fact that I am the owner of a brick and mortar bookstore, APS Books and More, which is located 2653 South Lawndale here in Chicago. And I have been operating the bookstore for a little over 3 years now. And so the thing about bookstores is most people feel as though it's an antiquated business. Most people feel that no one reads anymore. And so just the fact that I have been able to survive for this time and we are yet thriving, that is a testimony to my ability to operate business and to give you some great pointers that's going to help you allow your own business to succeed. And so when we talk about building a business the right way, understand again, it would take all day if I had to address each and every person's individual business. But when we're talking about basic concepts, universal approaches that can work, we're talking about foundational pieces. And so when we're talking about building it the right way, I want to begin talking about integrity. Okay, when you open a business, it is critical, just as a business license, just as a bank account. Having integrity is an integral part of maintaining a wonderful business life. Why do I say that? Because as a business owner, you want to make sure that you treat your customers with not just respect, but that you treat your customers with that level of appreciation, right? Because we understand that without customers, that there is no us. So we need customers in order for us to stay in business. And so there are many times, and also keep in mind that I have over 15 years of experience in the sales industry. So I have done, hey, Ms. Vernita, thanks so much for tuning in. I have done a wide variety of sales jobs. Again, I've worked a lot of different types of jobs, but they all been within the sales industry. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. And as you guys are coming on again, remember to ask any questions that you may have in regards to branding, as today's tip of the week is all about building your brand the right way. And so what we want to do, you know what, you can apply this. What this tip is we're talking about integrity, right? And I was just about to get into it. So understand that no matter what your business is, you want to make sure that you set up your business in a way that you appreciate your customer and that you respect your customer, whether you call them a customer, a supporter, a client, whatever the name of the person is whose monies that you are taking to do business with, that you set up a system that shows respect for them and that it's not taking advantage of them or the lack of knowledge that they may have for your particular business. So what am I talking about? So many times, and again, I am in the literary industry, and so there are a lot of authors who, I talk about it all the time, need an editor, but they don't know, maybe they don't know that they need an editor, or maybe they don't know what type of editing they need. And so when they go out and they're looking for an editor, they are simply just relying on the fact that the editor that they run across is going to possess integrity and that they are not going to take advantage of them. And so what happens is, no, absolutely, absolutely. When it comes to any type of business, there's always different types of desires, different types of wants and needs that you're making. Which again is why with this particular broadcast, we are not necessarily specifying a particular audience or particular industry, but in general, what we are doing is giving you tips that you can use to be universally sound across the board for whatever your business is, and no matter who your demographic is. And so when we talk about using integrity, make sure that when you build a business that you are not simply looking to get a one and done client. What do I mean by that? I mean, do not take advantage of a person because in your mind you don't need them later. Well, I'll overcharge them now, or I'll underserve them now. I'll give them not even what they're paying for simply because I know that they don't know any better, thinking that, okay, well, once I get that amount of money from them, that, you know what, it doesn't matter anymore what it is that I get from them. I've used them for what I need them for. And too many times I've seen this happen across the board, across the industry. Not, again, keep in mind, I said I had a 15-year background in sales. And I know that there were times different companies, and I will not name them, but different companies that I work for would, almost teach you how to manipulate a client just so that you could get more money, teach you how to get them out of, as much money now, even if that was not the best thing for them. And unfortunately, you see these practices all the time. But what you have to realize is that karma is real. What goes around comes around. And so when you have clients, you want to make sure that you are using integrity. You want to make sure that you are being upfront and honest with your clients. You want to make sure that you are not over promising and under delivering. You want to make sure that whatever it is you tell them that they are going to get, that you are going to be able to deliver on that service or that promise. And if for whatever reason that you can't, that you are in communication with them. Make sure that you don't have a problem with, if necessary, refunding money, if necessary, extending the time, whatever it is that you need to do to keep your name untarnished. Because when you're in business, and especially for my small business owners, my self-employed individuals, make sure that you understand that for us, many times, word of mouth is still the most effective marketing tool out there. And so once you get a bad review, once you get people that start talking about you negatively, and especially if there is truth to it, it's very hard to overcome that. It's very hard because one person knows somebody else who knows somebody else. And many times when you have shady or shisty business people, they are not thinking outside of the box. They're not thinking beyond today or tomorrow. All they're thinking about is that one client, that one time, this one deal, and that's it. But if you have no integrity, what is going to happen is at some point, you might get away with it today. You might get away with it for a month or for a year, but you cannot do long-term business and lack integrity, because after a while, word will get out on you. After a while, people will begin to report you. After a while, people will know you as being that person that gets over on people, that person who over promises or under delivers, or who just outright lies. Let's call it what it is. You have a lot of business owners who say what they need to say simply to get your money. And understand, again, I say this is not a particular business. This is across the board. I've seen it in the literary industry. I've seen it in the sales industry. I've seen it in customer service. I've seen it all across the board. So it really does not matter the particular industry that you are entering into. If you are coming into business, again, as a self-employed individual or a small business owner in particular, make sure that you understand how to do business. Make sure that you have a business acumen that says, you know what, who I am, my name means something. And so I am going to make sure that that name stays clear. Make sure if you are entering into business that you have a high work ethic, because again, so many times you get people that are so shady and all they care about is the dollar. And let me explain to you, yes, we understand that regardless of where you are from in the world, we understand whether it's called a euro, a peso, or a dollar, or everything else in between, that yes, we do need money to live. However, it should also matter to you how you get those dollars. It should matter if you're scamming people out of their money. It should matter to you if you are not giving the service that you promised. And again, I will make it personal to my particular industry. So many times you have authors who will pay monies to participate in an event, and it has been over delivered or over promised, under delivered and over promised. They'll say, oh, you're gonna have all of these different people come out. You're gonna, they will overcharge you. They'll make it where it's hundreds or thousands of dollars, an astronomical figure for you to come out of pocket with, because as an author, you are most times self-employed or at the, no more than a small business owner. So your funds are limited. And so this is why I always tell authors to make sure that you are doing your research. And again, that piece of advice transcends industries. It is not just for authors. Before you spend your money, make sure you do your research. Make sure that although this broadcast is specifically for self-employed individuals and small business owners, but make sure that you as a consumer, that you do your research as well. Don't just rely solely on the fact that that person that you do business with will have integrity, because there is a great chance that they may lack it. There's a great chance that just because of the fact that you are doing business with somebody, it does not mean that they are going to have integrity. It does not mean that they are going to tell you the truth. It does not mean that they are going to fully disclose everything. Is that the way that they should do business? Absolutely. Is that the way that most people nowadays especially choose to do business? Most of the time that answer is no. So you as a consumer have to make sure that you're doing your research as well, that you are talking to other people who may have used this person or this business, this product or this service, so that way you don't end up being on the bad side of, or the wrong side of, a bad review. Okay, so that's really it in a nutshell for today. As business owners, make sure that we do business with integrity. Make sure that we are not just taking people, taking away their money, not doing right by them because we feel like, oh well, they don't know any better, and once that money is gone, I don't care, I don't have a need for them. Because at the end of the day, you never know who knows who, and that person might be the bridge that you burn that's going to prohibit you from making it to the other side of success. And so I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, if you liked what you heard, know that every week I come to you live. I stream live 5 days a week on Periscope, but I come to you guys live once a week on YouTube every Monday with a brand new entrepreneurial tip of the week. Those of you on Periscope, I would really appreciate if you go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, but you can find me across the board, whether it be Periscope, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me all YouTube, all of those medias at APS International. So that's APS, the letter N, TERNATIONAL. You can follow me there. You can subscribe. So that way, whenever it is that I go live, you all get notifications. So this is what I try to do as a way of giving back, and hopefully it helps someone. Hopefully someone is able, a consumer does not get taken again, or a business owner will be able to learn their lesson and not continue to do bad business. So today's entrepreneurial tip of the week was build your brand the right way. And the foundational piece of building your brand the right way is to use integrity. So please join me tomorrow. I'll be live on Facebook at 2 p.m. And again, of course, I'll be on Periscope as well. But I will be live at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time with our book review. And the book that I will be reviewing tomorrow is entitled The Road to Money, The Journey Continues. And it's written by author Sylvester Boyd Jr. So if you guys have not already purchased your book, feel free to purchase it, or at the very least, make sure you tune in. So thank you guys so much. Again, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you're watching me from YouTube. If you're watching me from Periscope, go on over to YouTube and subscribe. And if you're watching from Periscope, make sure that you hit that follow button and tag some people, bring them in here, because again, if you have not been one that have been taken from a bad business, someone, I guarantee someone you know has. So we want to make sure that we can prevent as much bad business as we possibly can. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, you guys be blessed.